Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome to our very first episode here of Ring of Honor Television on our WWE 2K16 Universe mode. Now, as you can see there by the calendar, our first pay-per-view is going to be this Sunday. That will be Mystery Vortex, which essentially is going to be a completely random pay-per-view. We won't know any of the card bar the main event until that actual night. I will announce the main event here this evening, but apart from that, every single match is going to be picked out of the hat. I'm going to pick out the match type. I'm going to pick out the opponents. It's going to be pretty interesting. We can have absolutely anything happen on Sunday, so be sure to keep an eye out for that one. But anyway, let's have a look at tonight's card. We are going to start things off with Jay Briscoe taking on Matt Hardy, and Mark Briscoe will be at ringside for that one. We're going to see Rhino take on Matt Taven one-on-one. We've got Adam Cole taking on Kenny King. We've got the Motor City Machine Guns, the current tag team champions, I believe. Let me just double check that. I may be wrong, and I'm sure I'm right. You know what? I've actually lost that piece of paper. That's not very helpful, is it? Yes, the current tag team champions. I knew they were. They're going to take on reDragon. We're going to see AJ Styles, the current global champion. He's going to be accompanied to the ring by Gallows to take on Aries. And then our main event is going to be champion versus champion, as Ring of Honor champion Chris Hero takes on Ring of Honor television champion Matt Sydal. So without further ado, let's get straight into our first match of the evening. And there is our first match of the evening, and a first look at our loading screen as well here for Ring of Honor. It's going to be Jay Briscoe taking on Matt Hardy, and Mark Briscoe will be at ringside. And here we go. Who will win our first ever match here on Ring of Honor television on WWE 2K16? Now, I do like both these scores. I like Matt Hardy quite a lot. I think that looks pretty good. I have one problem with Jay Briscoe, and you can probably see it. That is the tattoos on his stomach and his chest. They are a slightly different colour to the rest of his skin tone. As soon as I can find a better Jay Briscoe, I will download that, and hopefully we can get rid of that very, very minor issue. But apart from that, I think they look pretty good. Of course, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you think any of them are not very good and need changing and things like that, we will endeavour to change that across. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. As the referee has to restart his count as both guys break it on the outside again. And of course, like I said, there is absolutely could be completely random what happens this Sunday at our Ring of Honor Mystery Vortex. Of course, Mystery Vortex is a pro wrestling guerrilla format that we are taking to use here in our universe mode. Essentially, like I said earlier, I am going to put all the match types in one hat. I'm going to put all the names in another hat. I'll also put all the tag teams in another hat as well. We will have the tag team championship and the television championship defended via that format, like I said, of just picking names out of a hat. The actual Ring of Honor championship, I will announce right now, Ring of Honor championship is going to be Chris Hero versus Kyle O'Reilly. That stems from our championship tournament, if you haven't seen it. You can check it out on this playlist earlier on. Essentially what happened in the final, it was between Chris Hero and Kyle O'Reilly. I believe Kyle O'Reilly was holding on to the bottom rope. He got a rope break. Referee did not see it, and Chris Hero won the championship. Therefore, like I said, Kyle O'Reilly is going to be given another opportunity. That's going to be a Mystery Vortex. Apart from that one match, which we will decide the stipulation for via the Hat of Doom. I just made that off the top of my head, and I regretted it straight away. Yeah, we will decide the stipulation via the hat. Apart from that, everything else is going to be decided again completely by the hat. We're going to have completely random tag team champions, completely random tag team championship contenders, and television as well. It could be television. We could end up with a 6-man elimination chamber for the television championship, for all we know. It's going to be really interesting, and of course, tag teams as well could be anybody. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a bit interesting. What's going to happen is, like I said before in some of my videos, the entrances will be switched on for pay-per-views. That's one thing we will definitely do. And what we'll do is you guys will not know who is in the match until the entrances. That's essentially what happens when Pro Wrestling are going to do this Mystery Vortex. They don't announce any of the card. They don't announce who's been booked to the card or anything like that. Essentially, the music goes off, and then the guys come out. And that's what we're going to do. Obviously, I will know because I'm going to have to set the matches up. But apart from that, I'm not going to know until I pull the names out of a hat. And I'll probably do that every single match, maybe. Maybe not. I might do it before the card starts. I'll draw all the names out of a hat. Of course, we won't have any match screens. We won't have an introduction showing you the card or anything like that. We'll get straight into the pay-per-view. It's going to be pretty good. As Jay Briscoe lining Matt Hardy up and gets him with a suicide dive. Great move by Jay Briscoe. So like I said, either of these two guys could be fighting out for the Ring of Honor Television Championship. They could be fighting out for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships as well, for all we know. They could even be fighting each other in a Extreme Rules match or Hell in a Cell. Like I say, it can be completely random. Anything can happen. Big double axe handle there by Matt Hardy, now bringing Jay Briscoe back up to his feet and lines him up and hits the side effect. Into the pin he goes. 1, 2. It's only a 2 count. Jay Briscoe kicks out of that one. Now I will pre-warn you, I am considering maybe making these videos a little bit shorter now because of the lengths of the videos. It's just become very, very difficult for me to get it all recorded and edited and uploaded for you every single night. So I might have to drop back down to a 5-match card rather than a 6-match card. I'm going to see how it goes over the next week or two, just to see, because when I get to this weekend, I'm going to see if I can record a few episodes up front and then maybe just only have to edit them during the week. But like I said, if I have to do the recording and editing in the same day, with me being at work all day as well, it just really, I haven't really got enough time to do it every evening. It's really been absolutely draining me. I've been going to bed a lot later than I probably should have. And yeah, so like I said, I'm going to see how it works over the next week or so. If I can get ahead of myself over a weekend and live off that for the week, that'd be fantastic, and then we can keep it the way it is. But like I say, for now, that's what I'm considering. Of course, we have gone bigger. Last year, we only did a 5-match card for Ring of Honor, then WWE had a 6-match card. This year, I'm doing a 7-match card for both WWE and the Attitude Era, and then everything else is having a 6-match card. So it's going to be interesting. See if I can put it off. I'll keep doing it because, like I said, we've got much bigger rosters this year, and we probably need to have these bigger cards just to be able to make sure we get everyone on. But I'll see how we get on the next week or so. Because I do want to start to up my uploads as well. I want to try and do for you every single day. I want to try and upload an episode of Fallout 4, a random match for 2K16, and of course our normal 2K16 episodes. That's what I'm aiming to do. Hopefully I can get there over the next week or so. And I need to try and get ahead of myself as well, because if we come towards our Global Force Wrestling G1 Climax Festival in 4 or 5, it's going to be in 4 weeks' time. We have to start that. I'm not going to be able to do 2 videos every single day and edit and record them. So I'm going to have to try and get ahead of myself as much as I possibly can. Matt Hardy, there's the twist of fate. And surely that's going to be enough now. He's hit that twice on Jay Briscoe. In for the pin he goes. Mark Briscoe catches the referee's attention now. And Matt Hardy should have won the match there and then. But Mark Briscoe had the attention of the referee, distracting him. Jay Briscoe back up to his feet, tripping Matt Hardy. Brings Matt Hardy back up to his feet. Now what's he got planned? Spins him round, and there's the Falcon Arrow. That's one of the things where we're doing a lot of these episodes, because they're taking me so long to do. I've not been able to play any Fallout 4 now for a week, and I'm absolutely devastated about that. I really want to get back into my Fallout 4. I was really enjoying it. Luckily, I had a hell of a lot of episodes recorded before I managed to before I had to start recording these every single day. Jay now taking Matt Hardy up. There's the Jay Driller. That butterfly power driver even. In for the pin he goes. 1, 2, and 3. There you go. Jay Briscoe defeats Matt Hardy on our very first match of our very first episode of Ring of Honor Television. So we see some of the replays. Let's see, we've got a little replay thing with the Ring of Honor logos. That's pretty good. I like that. I quite like this Ring of Honor arena actually, compared to what we had last year, especially like I said with the replay. It just makes it feel and look a lot better, especially when we get to our episode of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, our Mystery Vortex at the weekend. Of course, I am going to have a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla arena for that, so we'll be using the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla logo as well. So that's going to be interesting to see. That's going to be quite good to see how that works. One thing that's a bit of a shame is I wanted to use a different matchup screen and everything, but of course on Mystery Vortex we're not going to be able to. It is a mystery, of course. And I've realised how many times I say that's going to be interesting, but there you go. There you go, I have to learn some synonyms for that. There was a pin from Matt Hardy after the Frankenstein on Jay Briscoe. And the thing is, Jay Briscoe, his tattoos look different in the loading screen than what they do during the match. Because the tattoo on Jay Briscoe's left arm is a lot darker in the loading screen. I think it's another glitch that 2K need to sort. They must have had to hire more people since they released the game just to clean all these glitches up there. There's so many of them. There's the J Driller by Jay Briscoe on Matt Hardy, and that was enough to pick him up the free count. And that's good for Jay Briscoe because not only is it a victory in the first ever episode of Ring of Honor television here for Jay Briscoe, but it's also a victory that's going to help boost him up in the rankings for both the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship and the Ring of Honor Television Championship. Of course, I think the rankings work a lot better this year, but we'll have to keep an eye and see how it works. And here is our second match of the evening. It's going to be Rhino taking on Matt Taven. And here we go. So I sound a little bit distant. I had to put my controller on charge. It ran out of battery in the middle of the loading screen. There we go. We've already seen Rhino once in this universe mode. Of course, he wrestled on our first episode of NXT yesterday. He took on... Who did he take on? That's an interesting question. I only recorded it like 24 hours ago and I cannot remember who he faced off against. He faced... See, I've got all my paperwork sorted out now, so I know what I'm doing, which is a lot better now. I can try and keep it a little bit more organised, and hopefully that way. He faced Neville. He faced Neville yesterday on NXT television. Of course, you can watch that. If you go down to the description below, you will find a link to all the other 5 brands we've got in this universe mode. Of course, it's WWE on a Monday. It's Global Force on a Tuesday. It is NXT on a Wednesday. Ring of Honor on a Thursday, and Attitude Era on a Friday, and the Retro roster on a Saturday. So yeah, be sure to check that out. It was a great episode. It's actually, I think the NXT was probably the best episode we've uploaded so far. WWE on Monday was pretty damn good as well. This is the first card we've had all week actually in our universe mode that's not involved a championship match. And that's mainly because all the championships are going to be defended this Sunday anyway at Mystery Vortex, so I didn't want to go a bit over the top with all the championship defences. Of course, next weekend is when we have Backlash. That is going to be the Attitude Era's first pay-per-view, and I'll tell you what, Attitude Era's episode tomorrow is going to be epic because we're going to have to crown a lot of #1 contenders over the next 2 weeks just to try and make sure we get all the championships defended and everything like that. Of course, we've got 2 World Championships down there now. We've got the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship in the Attitude Era. And yeah, it's gonna be great to see who gets the opportunity. There's a couple of guys who I forgot to add into the championship tournaments to start with, so I think those may be the guys to get opportunities to get the #1 contendership. I'm talking guys like Kurt Angle, Cactus Jack maybe as well, because I think, well, Mankind was involved, but Cactus Jack wasn't. But Kurt Angle definitely is one that I forgot to use, and I'm a bit annoyed with myself for that. So he's going to be given an opportunity tomorrow night in Attitude Era. The one thing I want to do is I don't want to really copy or just sort of have 2 similar matches. So I think I may have like a fatal 4-way for one of the #1 contenderships and maybe a 1-on-1 for the other one. So either that, or I could have a fatal 4-way for one of them, and then I could have 2 semi-finals and a final next week to crown the other #1 contenders. That's something we can definitely look at doing. I'm quite excited by that actually, but we'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. Nothing's been decided yet. Of course, like I said, Attitude Era as well as the current day roster are both going to have a 7-match card. And I think we are going to have a hardcore championship match tomorrow as well on our first episode of Attitude Era. That was something that was suggested by Jay last week, so it's definitely something we'll have a look at doing as well. I've lost the piece of paper though, I think, that I wrote it down on, but I can get back to his comment and find that pretty easily enough anyway, so I'll do that. I'm pretty sure it involved the Sandman defending his championship against Rhino. I think it was RVD as well, and maybe Raven? I'm not talking about it, but I'll find it, and we'll do that for tomorrow's episode as well. As Rhino makes way to the outside of the ring and stripping the top off the announce table. This is interesting. I have seen one person go through the announce table so far, and they did lose by count, and I've seen 2 people actually. I think I've seen 3. I've seen 3 people. One person lost by count out, which I think is what should happen most of the time. The other 2 were brought back up to their feet and carried on wrestling. I think it depends where the referee's count is and when the person goes through the table to what happens. If it's a 5 count when they go through the table, the aggressor will slide back in the ring and probably win by count out. If it's less than a 5 count, the aggressor will probably bring up the guy he's put through the table back up to his feet, and they'll end up back in the ring anyway, like we are now. But Rhino so far is dominating this match against Matt Taven. And of course, Taven and Bennett will be in the hat of potential tag team contenders for Mystery Vortex on Sunday. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. That I'm looking forward to that, just to see who does get the opportunity. Like I said, I'm going to draw everything out of a hat. I'm not going to decide. I want about as much excitement as you guys. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Maybe even a new tag teams or new superstars, maybe, just to get them involved. It'll be even more surprising as well when they make their way to the ring and they weren't even on the roster to start with. That might happen. I might have to have a look and see if I can get a few people dropped in the hat just to a bit of excitement, a bit something fresh. And there's a big gore there by Rhino. Is this going to be enough in the pin? 1, 2, and 3. And Rhino's doing very well. And this is what I'm going to check actually straight after this match. We're going to go and have a look at the status effects, because Rhino has now won 2 matches. They are on different brands, so by winning 2 matches, he should have gained the momentum sort of perk. So, like I said, after this match, we'll go straight away and look at the status effects and see if he has got that, because I'm sure it says win 2 consecutive matches in the universe mode and you get the momentum. So, yeah, we're going to have a look at that now just to see if it does work across different brands, which it should do in theory. Because if it was Raw and SmackDown, then it would work, I suppose, wouldn't it? So, yeah, we'll have a look at that straight after this. As we just watched the last few highlights, there's a big belly-to-belly slam there by Rhino. Of course, that was only enough for a 2 count. See, great DDT there by Matt Taven on Rhino. Brings him back up to his feet and took him up with that Death Valley driver right in the middle of the ring. Of course, that was not enough to finish Rhino off either. Rhino is going to be a force to be reckoned with on this universe mode, I think. Like I said, he's involved in NXT. He's going to be involved here in Ring of Honor. I think Rhino's going to be involved in the Ring of Honor Television Championship picture. He'll be involved in the NXT. He'll be involved in the WWE Hardcore picture, but I like the idea of having Rhino maybe a little bit higher up the card as well. Maybe he can be involved in the European, maybe the Intercontinental Championship picture on the Attitude Era as well. We'll have to have a look and see if he can. If he keeps picking up momentum and big victories like this, there's no reason why he shouldn't be looked at for a championship match. But like I say, let's have a quick look now at the status effects. And here we see Rhino's status effects, is what I'm looking for. And yeah, as you can see, momentum is now in effect. It's stacked once, which means that all of his attributes have been... all of his momentum and his defensive attributes stacked up 1. That's pretty good. So his strength and his attack attributes are not going to be ranked up. So that's probably going to stop people becoming just too overpowered. So yeah, I quite like that. I'll be interested to see how long it lasts as well. See, it says 1 week. Does that mean it lasts for 1 week, or does that mean it's been in effect for 1 week? Again, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Just see if it does drop out. If he gets 1 more win, does it go up to stack 2, or does it need to have another 2 wins? Yeah, applied each time the competitor wins 2 consecutive matches. So, yeah, if he wins another match, is that going to count as... Yeah, he's going to have to win 2 more matches. We'll have to, like I said, we'll have to keep an eye on it and see just how it works. Like I said, this is my first time of using the universe mode. So, so yeah, this is all brand new to me. If you guys know, then please let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, that's enough of that. Let's get straight into our next match. And here is that next match. It's Adam Cole versus Kenny King. And here we go. Referee rings the bell. And it's the leader of Kingdom, Adam Cole, taking on one half of the All Night Express, Kenny King. And Kenny King has started this match quite dominantly. Of course, Adam Cole is going to be someone we're going to see at the top of both Ring of Honor and Global Force Wrestling this year. I don't think I used him quite as much last year as I really hoped to. And this year, I'm really trying to get more out of him. So he's going to be the leader of Kingdom. I can see some sort of feud coming in at some point. Not sure whether that's going to be a feud between himself and... I want to try and do a feud between the stable. So I'm thinking maybe Kingdom versus Bullet Club or something along them sort of lines. There's not a lot of trios. Maybe Kingdom versus House of Truth with was going to say R-Truth. It's not R-Truth, is it? But of course, Jay Lethal with got Roderick Strong in at the moment. We could also look at having Michael Elgin at some point, but I'm struggling to find Michael Elgin. He is someone I really want to get hold of, and if we do get hold of Michael Elgin, of course, he's going to be involved in the Ring of Honor title picture as well. Probably in Global Force Wrestling, maybe. We could probably do a couple more Americans in Global Force Wrestling. It's still pretty dominated by the Japanese and Mexican wrestlers, and the British wrestlers. Quite a lot more British this year than I realised that I actually downloaded. But yeah, it's gonna be a nice big varied roster, Global Force Wrestling. And I know the Ring of Honor roster is a little light on its feet at the moment, so we will try and get a few more guys in, just trying to even out a little bit. Adam Cole locking in the figure 4 leg lock here on Kenny King, middle of the ring. But Adam Cole breaks it up. Raking his foot across the face of Kenny King. And remember, like I said earlier on, this pay-per-view on Sunday is going to be completely random. We could see anybody versus anybody. We really could. We could even see the likes of like I said, AJ Styles could take on like Doc Gallows, or it could be Matt Jackson versus Nick Jackson in a ladder match. How cool would that be? But like I said, it's all going to be completely random out of a hat. Yeah, because I'm going to have one hat with all the match types. So there'll be like in there could be a one-on-one singles match. There could be a triple threat ladder match. There could be a 6-man elimination chamber. Like I say, it could be anything. It could be a fatal 4-way Hell in a Cell. And it could be random people in there. I don't know whether I want to do a main event hat and a normal hat. I think what I'll do is I'll draw all the matches, and then I'll probably arrange the card in a way that puts the best matches as the main event. Of course, we already know our main event. I've already announced it earlier on this evening. Chris Hero will defend his Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship against Kyle O'Reilly, and that's all down to, like I said earlier, the championship tournament earlier on, our very first episode here on Ring of Honor, where Chris Hero got the pin in the championship tournament final. However, Kyle O'Reilly did have a hold of the ropes. It was a rope break. The referee did not see it, and that is why the Ring of Honor management, as well as Chris Hero, has granted Kyle O'Reilly that opportunity. And again, Kyle O'Reilly is someone I really want to see do well this year. Of course, he is one half of the Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, but he could also beat the Ring of Honor champion by the end of this week as well. So, like I said, be sure to keep an eye out for that pay-per-view. It should be uploaded on Sunday. Again, I'm going to try and get it uploaded for Sunday morning, Sunday 8 AM, so it's there and ready for you guys to enjoy. I'm hoping I'll be able to do that. I'm not overly sure if I've got anything on this weekend. I don't think I have. So I should be able to get everything uploaded on time and even a little bit early. Like I said, I'm going to try and get a lot recorded this weekend, just so it can make my weeknights a bit easier. It's like I said earlier, it's been a bit difficult trying this week to get home from work at about 6, get a 2-hour episode recorded, then edit that down to get rid of all the fluff and the loading screens and all that sort of stuff, and then obviously get it all sorted to get uploaded. It does take a hell of a long time. So I'm going to try and get most of it done over a weekend. And if that is possible, then like I say, we'll keep it exactly as it is. If it's not possible, then like I said, I might have to start reducing the amount of matches on a card, which I don't really want to do, because I want to try and get as much out of this universe mode as possible, like you guys want to see as well. It's Kenny King with a springboard clothesline. Into the pin he goes. 1, 2. It's only a 2 count. What would this mean for Kenny King if he could pick up a victory here against one of the big main eventers in Ring of Honor, Adam Cole? It would really kickstart his career in Ring of Honor as well. Kenny King with that clothesline, and now eyeing Adam Cole up. Is he going to go high risk here? By the looks of it, he is. Suicide dive and takes Adam Cole out. Kenny King brings Adam Cole back up to his feet now, launching him into the edge of the ring as well. Just stomping on the chest. Rolling Adam Cole over. What does Kenny King go for now? An elbow to the back of Adam Cole. Painful that is. And of course, remember, we do have some more big matches here for you this evening, actually. Our next match is going to be the current Ring of Honor Heavyweight, the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion, the Motor City Machine Guns, and they are going to be taking on the current Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, reDragon. We also have AJ Styles taking on Austin Aries, which is going to be a big match as well. And of course, our champion versus champion match this evening, as Chris Hero, the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Champion, takes on Matt Sydal, the Ring of Honor Television Champion. And it's clear to see that these title tournaments really gave us some very exciting champions. People that I probably wouldn't have given the belts to myself, but I think that's good because it's really helped us come up with a completely unique universe mode, I think. Not a lot of people would have had the same champions that we've got. And I think that's a good thing, like I said. Great sit out. Scoop slam there. Kenny King gets a hold of the leg too. Oh, Kenny King defeats Adam Cole. Wow. What a victory for Kenny King. That is going to skyrocket him here in Ring of Honor. That is a big, big victory for Kenny King, defeating one of the main event stars. And what is that going to mean here for Kenny King? We are looking to bring a new championship in. I was thinking maybe something along the lines of a junior heavyweight championship. I don't quite like that idea though. I know Jay has suggested we bring in the pure championship, which I do like the idea of having the pure championship, but the only issue is that obviously the pure championship was always fought for under set rules that we couldn't mimic here in the universe mode. There's certain things we can't do. I'm thinking of maybe doing Ring of Honor Top Prospect as a tournament, a long tournament over like 8 weeks, leading up to our next pay-per-view, and then maybe the winner of that could be the Ring of Honor Top Prospect champion, maybe, or just call him the Ring of Honor Top Prospect with the belt. I like that sort of idea, and I say that because Kenny King, after this victory, could definitely be someone who's involved in that tournament, and maybe even look to win it, maybe. But yeah, that's an idea I've got. That's for after the pay-per-view, maybe starting next week. Like I said, we can build up 8 weeks all the way through to our next pay-per-view. Not quite sure what our next pay-per-view is due to be, actually, off the top of my head, after Mystery Vortex. It's going to be a good one. Like I know, we're going to do a lot of things like Battle of Los Angeles and the like a tag team tournaments and all sorts of things like that. So that's going to be good. We've got the King of Trios as well at some point. But yeah, Top Prospect is definitely something I want to try and look at doing maybe next month. And it really helps us. It will really help us actually bring in some new guys into Ring of Honor as well. And I'm sure that's what they do in Ring of Honor when they do the Top Prospect tournament. They bring in a lot of new guys and they give them their opportunities. And that's what we could do. Maybe bring a few of the younger lads over from Global Force Wrestling, the likes of Mark Andrews and Andrew Everett and people like that, and they can get an opportunity here in Ring of Honor. It would help us boost the Ring of Honor roster up quite a bit as well. And of course, crown our new Top Prospect champion maybe. And here is our next match here this evening. It's going to be the current Ring of Honor Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, the Motor City Machine Guns. And they're going to take on Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, reDragon. Now, I've just noticed, is that supposed to say tag team at the bottom? Because it's really squished up. I think it's supposed to say tag team match, but oh, there you go. Either way, you know who it is. Let's get straight into the match. And the bell goes, and here we go. It's Alex Shelley and Bobby Fish to start things off here. And who's going to come out on the top here? The battle of the... this is essentially, like I said, this is a champion versus champion match. What's that to say? Yeah, but both these teams are... Well, reDragon is a team I really want to do really well this year. Of course, they will have to defend those Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships at some point. I'm pretty sure that's going to be... They'll probably defend those at least once before we hit our first pay-per-view, the G1 Climax Festival, which is going to be... I keep saying 5 weeks' time, but then I've got to remember that it starts on Monday. It's going to be a full week's worth of pay-per-view. We're going to have an extra episode of Global Force Wrestling for you every single day. Of course, apart from Tuesday. Tuesday we'll just we won't upload a normal weekly show. We'll just have the one episode. Obviously it will be our part 2 of our G1 Climax week. If you don't know what the G1 Climax is, essentially it's going to be a bit like the Champions League in football or the World Cup sort of thing. It's going to be 4 groups of 4 wrestlers. They're each going to wrestle each other once. Whoever gets the most victories over the course of the week will go through to the night number 7 to a semi-finals and a final. If there are 2 wrestlers in the group that end up with the same amount of victories, then on the final night of their group, which will be obviously night 5 or night 6, depending on which group they're in, There will be a buffer match just to decide who goes through to that semi-final. So yeah, that's one we can definitely looking forward to doing that. As one of the formats I really enjoyed doing on 2K15. It was a real exciting one, that was. Of course, it was Brian Cage who won it on 2K15, and then, of course, the winner of the G1 Climax Festival will guarantee themselves a shot at the Global Championship. Of course, unless it is the Global Champion who wins the tournament. Not quite sure who that Global Champion's going to be yet, because, of course, AJ Styles is going to defend his Global Championship against Kazuchika Okada on week number 4 of this month. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. That is going to be, yeah, like I say, in 3 weeks' time. It's going to be a big episode, that is. Big Global Championship defense on a weekly show. That's how special that's going to be. You're not going to see many of them, if any. I suppose we will. We might start doing things like that. Of course, if it's an 8-week gap between our episodes, then it makes sense to maybe do something along those sort of lines. Yeah, but like I say, we might end up having championship matches on the other pay-per-views as well. Like I said, Ring of Honor and Global Force are going to link very close this year. They're sharing a lot of the same roster, so I think we might even have some of the championship matches happen on the other shows as well. Who knows? Maybe even the reDragon could defend their Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships this weekend. I've been talking away, the fly just flew in my mouth. That's not very bloody nice. Oh, God. That was a meaty one, that was. Oh. Think of the protein. Think of the protein. Oh, fucking hell. Woo! I'm struggling. Right, my eyes are watering now. As there's Kyle O'Reilly in the ring against Chris Sabin. Of course, Chris Sabin, the former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I don't know if that was to do with because he deserved it, or because they were just trying to live off his injuries and trying to hit it up while he had a lot of crowd support behind him. In fairness to him, he did a fantastic job to come back after those injuries, to tear the ACL in one knee, be out for over a year, and then for that to happen on your first match back in the other knee is just absolutely unheard of. It's insane that could happen to one guy. He's so unlucky. But again, he came back from it and he's still wrestling now. Not for TNA, of course, but he's still wrestling now across the indie scene. And yeah, just props to him for fighting through such difficult times to continue on the way he has. Kyle O'Reilly makes the tag into Bobby Fish. We're looking for a hot tag. I'm so happy this year the hot tags actually work. On 2K15, they were pointless on PS3. They did not affect anyone. They didn't work at all. So it's great to actually have a point for them now, because it was just a running joke on 2K15. Whenever there was a hot tag, you knew it was not going to come to anything at all. Bobby Fish brings Alex Shelly back up to his feet, and now there is a great kick. In for the pin he goes. 1, 2. It's only a 2 count. It would be interesting if either of these two teams was to pick up a victory against the other. Will that technically make them #1 contenders for that championship? Of course, the situation this weekend with Mystery Vortex is that a random team is going to get the opportunity to face it off against Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin for their tag team championships. Maybe I could make some sort of random plan to see whether we can actually defend. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll tell you what we will do. And this is just going to add a little bit more excitement to the old program. If I pull reDragon's name out of the hat for a match on Sunday at Mystery Vortex, if the team that I pull out afterwards to face them is a junior heavyweight team, then we will make that for the Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. That's what we'll do. We'll leave it up to fate. If reDragon's name comes out the hat and the team they're facing is qualifying for the just if they're the right weight class, then they'll be involved in that as well. We'll leave it up to the hands of fate. We may have a Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match on Sunday. We may not. We'll let fate decide. Alex Shelley has been busted open by Bobby Fish. Now Alex Shelley taking Bobby Fish up. And there is that Fisherman's Brainbuster. Now lining Bobby Fish up again. What does Alex Shelley have in store for Fish now? Up on his shoulder, he takes him. There's the air raid slam. But if he goes to the pin here, he's very, very close to the corner. Alex Shelley joining the revolution. And does not go for the pin. He brings Chris Sabin into the ring. And Bobby Fish looks to try and bring in Kyle O'Reilly, but Chris Sabin caught up behind him. Sent him off that far rope. Back elbow by Chris Sabin. Bringing Bobby Fish back up to his feet. Big spike DDT, and now Fish looks to be busted open as well. He is. In for the pin goes Sabin. 1, 2. No, Bobby Fish is there quickly enough to break it up. Back elbow by Bobby Fish, and spin Sabin round. Dragon suplex. Release Dragon suplex as well. And Bobby Fish with a little bit of sexy dancing there. Big knee to the face of Chris Sabin. And if he continues with moves like that, then there's going to be 3 guys in this match bleeding. It's one of the things I do miss on this game is the match rules screen. I did really enjoy that. We could change, like I say, we could change the match rules. You could change elimination on or off, first blood, first finisher, submission only, all that sort of stuff. And I really miss that because it made us able to create our own matches as well. So I used to use the Ultimate Submission match, which was an Iron Man match with the submissions only to win. Of course, we had First Blood matches as well at our last Blood Ground pay-per-view for the Attitude Era. It's a bit of a shame they've taken that away from us. It was something that I was using quite a lot of. And it does really limit the type of matches you can have as well. It's great to have the blood switched on, but like I said, if we could have a First Blood match as well, that'd be even better. It just allows us to create something a little bit different in the universe, maybe just freshen it up a little bit. Sabin lining up Kyle O'Reilly. What has Sabin got planned? Takes him up onto the shoulder. And there is that sort of front Death Valley driver. In for the pin goes Sabin. Shelly's around the back. It's only a 2 count. Kyle O'Reilly was able to kick out. Now O'Reilly bringing Sabin to the middle of the ring, and there's a gutbuster. Getting Sabin back up to his feet, and O'Reilly. Great exploder suplex. And O'Reilly with a little dance as well. O'Reilly bringing Sabin to the middle of the ring, and Saito suplex. Again, Sabin back up to his feet, and O'Reilly got planned now. A clothesline, a second clothesline. Picking up a head of steam, and there's the trip as well on Sabin. Kyle O'Reilly really looking in strong form now. Should have really gone for the pin. I've noticed this quite a lot in tag team matches. They don't seem to go for the pin anywhere near as often as they should do. Bobby Fish sending Sabin into that turnbuckle. Sends him out and gets up to the second rope, and now harnessing the powers of Grandmaster Sexay with that drop kick from the middle rope. Big back kick as well by Bobby Fish. In for the pin he goes. 1, 2. And there you go. reDragon pick up a victory here against the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, the Motor City Machine Guns. That is a huge victory for reDragon, and already these 2 guys are looking like a force to be reckoned with in this universe mode. Like I said last year, I really wanted reDragon to do well, and so far this year they've won the Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, and now they've just defeated the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions here in a match on Ring of Honor television. Of course, Sabin and Shelly will defend these Tag Team Championships at Mystery Vortex on Sunday. Who against, we do not know as of yet. All shall become clear on Sunday when we see the entrances, basically. But like I say, every championship will be defended on that evening. And like I said, we've left it in the hands of the gods to see whether reDragon will be defending their Ring of Honor. Nope. If they're defending their Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships as well. If they're drawn out the hat, we are going to have we'll have the Tag Team Championship match. We'll also have a second tag team match. And should that second tag team match have Global Force Wrestling's Junior Heavyweight Champions reDragon pulled out, and if the other team pulled out as well, is sort of in the right weight class for that division, then we will have that championship match. I've just lost all use of words now. I'm going to have a drink and I'll see you in the next match. And here's our next match here this evening. It's going to be AJ Styles versus Austin Aries, and Doc Gallows will be at ringside. And here we go. I've had a little drink now, I'm feeling better. I've had a lump of cheese as well. I'm absolutely bloody starving, I am, but I want to get this recorded as soon as I possibly can so that I can crack on editing it while I'm eating my dinner. And this is one half of our... I'm going to say it's a double main event. I'm going to throw it out there. Both these guys are at such a high level that it really should be a double main event, I suppose. And of course, we've got AJ Styles, who is the current global champion and the leader of Bullet Club, taking on Austin Aries. I'm still trying to decide who's going to be involved in our G1 Climax Festival, and Austin Aries is someone that I do have down to work for Global Force Wrestling as well. He is on that roster. What I want to try and do in the Global Force Wrestling is I want to try and, in the G1 Climax that is, I want to try and have, split it up like I did in the Championship Tournament, so I'm going to try and even it all out. I don't know whether to have separate groups. You guys have to let me know, right? I was going to either do, in each group, one Japanese guy in each group, one Mexican guy in each group, one American in each group, and one European in each group. I could either do that, or I could do a group of Japanese superstars, a group of Mexican wrestlers, a group of British wrestlers, and a group of Americans, and then obviously the winner of each group goes through, so we get a nice varied semi-final and final. But like I said, what do you guys want to see? What would you prefer to see? Would you rather see the nationalities spread out across the competition, or would you rather see each group just sort of giving us the best from their nationality, then putting them through to the finals? Let me know what you think. Of course, there's no major rush. We are not doing that now until, like I said, about 4 weeks' time. But I really would like to start getting it all planned. So Austin Aries will definitely be involved in that, I reckon. American-wise, I'm thinking maybe AJ Styles, Austin Aries, Adam Cole, and maybe Bobby Roode, I think, as our 4 Americans. I'm thinking, obviously, Japanese, we've not got a lot at the moment. I'm struggling with Japanese at the moment. So I've got Nakamura, Okada, and Tanahashi will definitely be involved. And at the moment, the only other Japanese guy I have on the roster is Jushin Thunder Liger. But I want to try and use a bit more sparingly, since he is more or less like a legend. I want to try and use him the same way as I'm using like The Rock and Triple H and that sort of people on the main roster. Just bringing them in every now and again for 1 or 2 big feuds, and taking them out, then bringing them in a few months later again. So that's probably what I'm looking for. Mexicans, we've got quite a lot of good Mexicans on there. Of course, we've got the likes of Mil Muertes, Prince Puma, Drago, Phoenix. Straight away, there's 4 top guys that could be involved in that competition. And again, Europeans, we've got Tommy End, we've got Drew Galloway, we've got Magnus. We've got some pretty good people we can have involved in that. Yeah, but just let me know what you guys think. What would you prefer to see? Would you prefer to see all the nationalities split up and then have a very mixed semi-final and final? Would you rather like to see very, very mixed up group stages and just see who the best wrestlers are? Referee up to a 4 count. These 2 guys still on the outside. Now a 5. AJ Styles, that big boot across the stomach of Austin Aries. Both guys back in the ring. And how good does this Austin Aries core looks? It's fantastic. And as you can see, I've also got a much better Doc Gallows now as well. Hopefully we'll see Doc Gallows wrestle at some point. We've not seen him yet. This is our first opportunity. There's a 450 splash there by Austin Aries. In for the pin he goes. Referee's out of view. It's a 2 count. I'm not quite sure what happened here. I think I've said this earlier on in the Universe mode in one of our first few episodes earlier on the week. The Universe mode will settle down quite a bit the further we get in. When things start off, everyone's on the same level and anybody can beat anybody really, I suppose. But as we get a bit further in, momentum will start to take effect and champions will become more dominant in singles matches like this. If this was, say, 6 months in, AJ Styles had the championship, he'd have a lot of momentum behind him and he'd probably defeat Austin Aries here quite easily. Aries with a big boot to the side of the head of AJ Styles. Now that is interesting. AJ Styles going out of his way to be excessively aggressive here in this match against AJ Styles. Did I just say AJ Styles going out of his way to be aggressive towards AJ Styles? I meant Austin Aries going out of his way to be aggressive to AJ Styles. And that's not going to help AJ Styles at all. If he picks up a bad injury from something like that, then that's going to affect him going forward to defend that global championship against Kazuchika Okada in, of course, 3 weeks' time. It's going to be his first big championship defense. It's supposed to be his first big championship defense, but based on what could happen here, if Austin Aries picked up a victory here, as he hits a Northern Light suplex, rolls through, and there's that suplex. What a great move by Austin Aries. This could be all, you know. We could have a huge victory here for Austin Aries over the global champion, AJ Styles, and that would really dent AJ's momentum going forward, defending that global championship, I said, in a few weeks' time against Kazuchika Okada. But now you see AJ just slowing the pace of the match down, wrenching back at the arm of Austin Aries. Austin back up to his feet and there's a big punch to the gut of AJ Styles. AJ with that front headlock and now bringing Austin Aries into the middle of the ring and takes him up. Is he looking for a Styles Clash? He has the arms hooked. There's the Styles Clash. The only issue I've got with the Styles Clash this year is they don't seem to have linked it with a pin, which is a little bit annoying. And again, I said in the tag team match, why they're not going for pins? AJ Styles hit a Styles Clash and didn't go for the pin, but there's the Pele, and surely that's going to be a pin. No. Austin Aries back up to his feet. AJ Styles catches him once again there, but Austin Aries tripping AJ. Bringing AJ Styles back up to his feet now, and Austin Aries with a couple of big forearms. And a Pele kick of his own on AJ Styles. Big shoulder block. And of course, the one advantage that AJ Styles is going to have, not only this evening, but of course at that big championship defense in 4 weeks' time on Global Force Wrestling's Amped, is going to be the sort of people you see there at ringside. His fellow Bullet Club members. Tonight it's Doc Gallows. It could be Carl Anderson, Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson. Any of those guys could really help AJ out. There's the pin. 1, 2, and 3. Your global champion AJ Styles is victorious here over Austin Aries. Great win for AJ, showing some intense resilience there as well. I thought Austin Aries could have had the victory here on a couple of occasions. Very early on as well with this 450. Great move. But that wasn't to be. That was only a 2 count. And props to Doc Gallows. He didn't really get involved in this match as much as we probably expected him to. Of course, as a member of Bullet Club. As we've got some very manic camera angle switching here. There we go. Oh, this is the point where Austin Aries, you see, lining up AJ Styles against that ring post. And that big boot to the head. And that was very, very aggressive. Maybe not a lot of reason behind that aggression. That's what I'm saying. That's a very dangerous move to put a fellow competitor through. Especially in just a standard match here on Ring of Honor television. If this was like a big feud or a championship match, you might be able to understand that sort of aggression. But it wasn't really called for here. And Austin Aries did not manage to capitalise on it anyways. AJ Styles, your global champion, victorious. And he's picking up a nice little bit of momentum now going forward. A couple more victories and I think we may make a good strong rest out of AJ Styles. And that may be what I try and do to try and just make the champions a bit more champion-y, if that makes any sense. is just to maybe give them a couple of easier matches to start things off, build up a little bit of momentum, and then of course they can go into the championship matches as the favourite, which is what they should do really. And here is our main event this evening. It's going to be the champion versus champion match as the Ring of Honor heavyweight champion Chris Hero takes on your Ring of Honor television champion Matt Sydal. And here we go, champion versus champion. Chris Hero, the Ring of Honor heavyweight champion. Matt Sydal, the Ring of Honor television champion. Of course, both these guys will defend their belts on Sunday at Mystery Vortex. I've already announced earlier on that Chris Hero is going to defend that belt against Kyle O'Reilly due to the occurrences at the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship tournament where Kyle O'Reilly did have his hand on the rope. It was a rope break, referee didn't see it, and Chris Hero was awarded the championship. Of course, though, that match stipulation will be decided via the Hat of Doom. Like I said, I'm going to put all the match types in a hat, and we're going to pull out what match is going to be taking place. That's going to be the same situation for Matt Sydal as well. But not only is Matt Sydal's stipulation going to be picked by the match of the Hat of Doom, also his opponent/opponents. Depending on what match is picked, it could be multiple opponents, of course. He could end up with, say, like I said earlier, he could end up in a 6-man elimination chamber. He could end up in a fatal 4-way ladder match. It could be absolutely anything. And, of course, we will be deciding his opponents via the hat as well. So, it's going to be very interesting. Like I said, I'm probably going to do all the hat stuff first, sort of off camera. I'm going to keep it all a secret from you guys, and you're not going to know. You're not going to know the actual matches until the entrances. I'll probably let you know beforehand what the match type is and how many people are in there. But apart from that, you're not going to find out who's in the matches until you see the entrances. That's going to be pretty fun. Like I said, because it's a pay-per-view, we are going to show you all the entrances. I've just tried to keep the entrances out of these normal shows just to make the episodes flow a lot quicker. Of course, pay-per-views are a bit more special, so we have all the entrances. If we do have a championship match on normal episodes of whatever brand it should be, like I said, if it's a championship match, we will have all the entrances just to make it feel a bit more special. Of course, I think this is the first episode all week that we haven't actually had a championship match. We had a tag team championship match on Monday Night Raw. We had an Intercontinental Championship match on Global Force Wrestling. We had an NXT Television Championship match yesterday as well. And tomorrow night we're going to have a Hardcore Championship match as well. So there's going to be a lot of championship matches on the go. Matt Sydal, a big victory here for Matt Sydal could also springboard him up to maybe the upper echelons of Ring of Honor. He's not really known as a main event star in Ring of Honor, but a victory here would definitely cement him a place there. And of course, whoever wins this match is going to get a nice extra bit of momentum going forward towards Mystery Vortex. Something that's going to be very, very important. Because that tournament's going to be difficult enough. Especially it's not so bad for Chris Hero, because Chris Hero knows who he's going to be against, so he can really sort of plan for Kyle O'Reilly. Whereas Matt Sydal could end up in the ring. He could end up against someone big and strong. He could end up against someone really fast and quick, really agile. It could be anybody. It could end up with both in the ring. So it's going to be difficult for Kyle O'Reilly. Not Kyle O'Reilly. It's going to be difficult for Matt Sydal, shall I say? Big German suplex there by Chris Hero. And you know what? The more I see this Chris Hero, the more I like it. I think he's. I first thought when I saw it that his body shape was not right. It was too big compared to the other people. But now I'm starting to think it is actually quite a good core. The attire here is fantastic, which I very much like, I must say. And this Matt Sydal is very good as well. Matt Sydal now bringing Chris Hero into the middle of the ring. And Matt Sydal is taking quite a bit of an advantage in this match now. He's in control, and there he is with that big finisher maneuver. just bringing his leg and his entire body weight down onto Chris Hero. 1, 2. Oh, Chris Hero kicks out. It was almost a victory there for Matt Sydal. And like I said, for Matt Sydal to defeat the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Champion would be a massive victory for him. Slowing the match down now, Matt Sydal. Not the sort of thing that Matt Sydal would normally do. You'd think he'd normally try and pace the match up against someone like Chris Hero. Chris Hero using his strength to get back out of this one. Now looking to try and gain some control in this match himself. Throwing Matt Sydal into the corner. Can he follow it up? No, he slides outside the ring and what's... Oh, Chris Hero! Oh, nice one, Matt Sydal. Chris Hero looked like he was going towards that announce table. And Matt Sydal just dived on him. I didn't realise they could actually do that. That's pretty good. I like that. The fact that he's actually done the dive without it being an OMG moment, that's really good. I like that. I hope we can see more of that in maybe Fatal 4 matches and things like that. That's going to be... That'd be really good. If there's two guys fighting on the outside and somebody runs out and dives on them like that, that'd be great to see. But what a move that was by Matt Sydal. Really making this a main event for us. Matt Sydal now willing Chris Hero back up to his feet. Taking him up. Going for a crunchy. He does. Into the pin straight away. 1, 2. Oh, Chris Hero kicks out once again. Matt Sydal doesn't even know what more else he's going to have to do here to keep this man down. Chris Hero showing the resilience of a champion. There's a Pele kick there by Matt Sydal. Brings Hero back up to his feet once again. Brings the leg over once again. Surely there's no way Chris Hero is going to kick out again. There's the pin. 1, 2. Wow, Chris Hero kicks out again. Whoa, what is Matt Sydal going to have to do? Matt Sydal now throwing Hero into the corner. He's going to have to look for his trusty... Oh, maybe not. Chris Hero. A little bit of reversal, and there's the big boot in the corner. Shooting star press was the word I was looking for a second ago. Shooting star press. Chris Hero now taking Matt Sydal up. He's going to go for a tombstone. Chris Hero with a tombstone power driver on Matt Sydal. Hero drops across. Well, back up to his feet now. Has a bit more energy than we thought he did. In for the pin he goes. 1, 2. Oh, and Matt Sydal kicks out as well. Chris Hero sending Sydal back into the corner once again. Sydal fights out there with that back elbow. Chris Hero taking Sydal down and slowing the pace of the match down once again into that headlock. Sydal here, he needs to try and get out as quickly as he can. He needs to up the pace of the match once again. Both these guys really need to keep the pace of this match at their own level. Chris Hero probably more slow, methodical and powerful. Matt Sydal wants to get this match back up to a faster, speedier pace. Another big boot in the corner by Chris Hero now. Stalking his opponent, Matt Sydal. Sydal back up to his feet. Hero into that neckbreaker position. We've seen it before. There's the big elbow to the back of the head. And I think the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Champion, Chris Hero, could have a big victory here. In for the pin he goes. 1, 2, and 3. There you go. Ring of Honor Heavyweight Champion, Chris Hero, victorious over the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Television Champion. I've buggered that one up, haven't I? The Ring of Honor Heavyweight... Oh, I've done it again. The Ring of Honor Television Champion, Matt Sydal. Excellent. Got there in the end. Got there in the end. And that's a great win, that is, for Chris Hero, because Matt Sydal did so much damage to him. He hit him with 2 of that finishing maneuver. I'm not quite sure that's called, to honest truth, where he brought his leg across the top. And then he also hit him with a Pele kick, and I can't believe that Hero lasted as long as he did. The resilience on show was fantastic. A few of these big German suplexes as well. But Chris Hero with that big elbow to the back of the head. And it's worse at the back of the head because you cannot see it coming. It makes it a lot more dangerous, I think. Also, tombstone power drive by Chris here as well. That was only enough for a 2 count. As you can see here, goes in for the 2 count. Very close to a 3 there. You see it was only an inch away from the mat. And you see Hero just stalking the grounded Matt Sydal here. Takes him round into a neck breaker position. Lets him go, and there's the big elbow to the back of the head. That was enough to take Matt Sydal out of this one. We'll see Chris Hero again, like I said, main eventing our Mystery Vortex pay-per-view on Saturday / Sunday. It's going to be on Sunday, sorry. Against Kyle O'Reilly for that Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship. Matt Sydal will also be defending his television championship against who and in what match we will find out on the night. Well, guys, that is the end of this very first episode of Ring of Honor. I hope you've all enjoyed it. It's been a very interesting episode. We've seen quite a few matches end in a way we would not expect normally. Just one of them off the top of my head is going to be Kenny King defeating Adam Cole. That's a big, big victory for Kenny King. That's going to really boost him in the rankings here. And maybe we can even have him go over to Global Force Wrestling to have a go for the Next Gen Championship at some point as well. But that's all in the future. Of course, if you have liked this video, please hit that thumbs up button. It does help me out quite a bit. And of course, if you're not already, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we'll be uploading a lot more 2K16 footage daily, as well as a random match series which will be coming back probably next week once I get a bit more time behind me. And of course, Fallout 4 I'm currently doing as well at the moment. So I think that's about all I've got to say. I've been Shabby Gaming. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow night for Friday Night Raw is War with the Attitude Era.